Today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite topics, the future of investments, the future of money, and specifically cryptocurrency. I'm going to start with a little bit of my background. I am a trained analyst. After graduating from Harvard, my first job was a commercial property underwriter for General Reinsurance. So I am trained in managing high-valued risk. Prior to becoming Treasurer of the United States, I was Managing Director of Investments for a $22 billion firm based in San Francisco. And I was asked by President Obama to be part of the Treasury transition team at the height of the financial crisis. As you heard, I was the longest Senate-confirmed official in the Obama administration. And yes, it is my name on the lower left-hand side of U.S. money. So out of the approximately $2 trillion of U.S. currency in circulation worldwide, my name is approximately on 1.8 trillion. So I can honestly say that no one has made more money than I have. And I want to start by saying I am also on the board of Ripple, which is XRP, cryptocurrency. But I want to make something very, very clear. Blockchain is here to stay. The train has left the station. You're going to hear me quoted about that all the time. As far as I'm concerned, whether it's fractional real estate, whether it's art, whether it's NFTs, blockchain is not going away. And so the question is, how do we take advantage of this?
So for all of you that do not know, I love this video. I've most likely shown it to you guys a couple of different times, and gotta give some credits to Crypto Airy here for providing it over on Twitter, because it was kind of hard to find. Having said that, that's one of the treasurers over in the United States, giving some shoutouts to XRP/Ripple. Just wanted to get that out there to you guys again, just understanding how big this is. However, during my live streams, I often get the question, why are you so excited about this? What exactly is behind this that you know that a lot of people do not know? So obviously I could talk about a couple of different things, like for example the fact that it's been delisted off a lot of exchanges, it's having a critical lawsuit right now, which again, all these things can pump the price. I can talk about one of the newest announcements, for example, Ripple concluding a fresh partnership to expand into the European luxury market, or rather to make sure that you can actually pay with crypto in any store over in the world, which is just an expanding little, I guess, project. But no, all those reasons came a little bit later. I've actually been around for quite a long time, and I've invested for a long time. And it's mostly due to the idea of changing the financial system. And honestly, I recommend you guys to read over on the Amazon website here a little piece about Ripple. This is very funny because I just found it just now after doing some research. I do a little bit of research regarding older stuff in the crypto space every single day, or trying to find hidden partnerships or things that you're not finding in the major press releases, basically. And it's not too often nowadays that I find a lot of hidden stuff anymore. Back in the time though, this used to be basically my full-time job almost, that I'd look for 6, 7, 8 hours a day, just looking through old files, see if I could find something very cool, or sometimes new files that have just not been announced. And again, guys, I'm not exactly sure if this is just something you as a company can write on. I actually try to find Ripple itself through the AWS customer stories part. Couldn't find it like that. It says here, after selecting filters, share the search and by copying URL. I thought maybe just type it in the company name would work. I guess maybe, I'm not exactly sure why. It's also very old information, and that actually in this case is a positive thing, because this can kind of read you through some of the information that we got since, I guess, 2018 on forward. Since a lot of this stuff was actually not even that old. It's like 2018 plus. However, there's a couple of things which it leads you to do. It's partially reading through some of the partnerships which they have or have had for a little while, and a little bit of how they used to phrase technologies which they were about to, I guess, share with people and help people out with. Here's, for example, also a old blog post over on Ripple's website. Ripple's blockchain network is now more than 100 strong. And if you just kind of read through that list, it's crazy how many partners that are actual banks or payment providers that are this huge, they actually got as far as 2017, so that's 5 years ago that they got that. Or over here in Ripple's member little list that you could check out for yourself, it really is kind of crazy the partners that they had. Obviously, there's more extensive lists as well that you kind of see out here. Top 100 banks and Ripple. List is based on the 2019 S&P market intelligence report of the 100 largest banks in the world by total assets. The list links the top 100 banks by assets and Ripple. Currently, 38% of the world's top 100 banks have been linked to Ripple in some way, shape, or form. Bear in mind that there are NDAs in place, and banks might be connected to Ripple via other integrators that we are not publicly able to find. But wow, right? It's just the connections that Ripple has that they're setting themselves up for, basically. Or to phrase it differently, that Ripple is connected to eventually basically encompass everything. As we said before, right, there's a really inherent problem with banks and their own CBDC, for example, or I should say their own stablecoin. And we talked before about why banks would want to hop on. It's going to be a snowball effect, and Ripple is really starting to get everywhere. Over in China, they're not doing too well, I guess. And I guess, unluckily, those are definitely the largest banks. But at the end of the day, if we just look at the percentage, I guess, that's pretty huge for Ripple. You can also try to look up more lists regarding how exactly they utilize XRP, as every single one of them is a little bit different. They might have different agreements. They might not be using XRP just quite yet. They might never go for it. It depends. Any partnership is different than the other, and we don't know what they're testing. We don't know what NDAs are in place. We don't know how long it's going to take for things to change. But once more, if lists like this don't get you excited about just the process of it all, I'm not exactly sure. There's actually over on XP Arcade a couple of other pieces that you might want to check out. For example, the Ripple ecosystem or the ODL exchanges that kind of showcase just how big this project already is. And again, to kind of summarize easily, they're changing the financial system. They're rooting themselves in every single part of it all, and it's going ridiculously fast. A lot of people are making articles about the short-term price and whatnot, and honestly, guys, I do buy XRP a lot over on Spot, and I do trade a lot of it over on Leverage on Bybit. Now, quickly before I forget, there's actually, over on Bybit right now coming up, an $8 million competition. It's called the World Series of Trading, and we can basically participate as teams. Now, if you join my team, all you need to have is at least $500 in your account. You don't need to pay anything, you just need to have some sort of balance to be recognized as an actual trader. And that way, if our team ends up winning, you're also winning by default. And that means you're getting a part of the prize pool that we win, which is why I want to get as many people as possible, because the more people that we have, the higher our chances of winning if we all start to trade a little bit. Having said that, the link for that will be down below, so join either Bybit right now, or if you already have a Bybit account, join my team. And if you don't want to press any links, just go to the World Series of Trading over on the webpage, which again you can't see, but it's like right here over at the top, and then just type in DustTBC in the little team section, because I have a couple of strategies, and I really hope that this year we're going to win. But yeah, I just wanted to let that in on Ripple/XRP for right now. Just a little thought process as to why. A lot of people ask about this, what's the use case or whatnot. Well, for XRP, there's a couple of really important things. One of them is, in the easiest sense, being the middle currency, being the bridge currency between other currencies, which is why it's so interoperable, which is why it's going to be so accepted. A lot of banks right now are having their troubles getting into the crypto space, because a lot of the bigger partners are like, no, but we are not too keen on you working with this Bitcoin thing, which is why we're seeing some slower forms of adoption. If you guys remember, a lot of you guys probably won't, but a long time ago, they used to always scold XRP for being called the banker's coin. Right now, we're starting to see those fruits. On the short term though, and this is actually really to be seen as well on a couple of smaller pieces, like for example, over on the top of some of these lists, for example, I'm not sure exactly which list it was, but you guys get my drift. You can see Santander or partners like that, which had a primary focus, for example, on the US. A lot of this stuff is being like, let's call it pushed down for the mean moment, as of course we have this ongoing lawsuit. And that's another very important point. The fact they're going to be the first properly regulated crypto in the US if they do end up winning, which I honestly expect it to. And if we're just, kind of prize aside, the fact that it's got that proper regulation and now can fully expand and get the seal of approval by the SEC is most likely going to allow for a lot of institutions to be like, well, but indeed we can hop onto this XRP bandwagon. Again, right now, it's pretty hard for companies to work with Ripple in the US because of this ongoing lawsuit. I mean, who would want to take that risk? But finally, once they got the seal of approval, I think it's going to go really fast. Ripple's going to go for an IPO, and there's a lot of things coming in a really, really rapid pace. So even though this is not a real update of sorts, except for the fact that I found this little AWS little report that I've never seen somebody share before, I think it's rather interesting. Yeah, it's just some thought process that a lot of people are forgetting. It's not only about the loss, it's just a good partner. We're actually buying it mostly for the connections that they have, for the use case which they're about to bring. And I could talk about the use case for a couple of hours. Here's a couple parts in that as to what is inside of RippleNet. It's actually a lot bigger than many people think. It's not just only the bridging part. It goes on to being a full suite of basically everything that a company might need. It's actually, I should say, a financial institution might need. It's actually quite broad, and it's actually pretty crazy if you start to think about it.